Hey everybody, this is just a quick and dirty video showing how to um, do cutting with your silhouette. If you have something that's less defined, like these lighter colored banners from the Reset Girl. So I imported the PDF as an image at 300 dpi so that when I print it, it'll come out nicely. I'm just using the rectangle tool to go around the outside of the banner. And now, of course, it's not going to have that little point in the center. So I'll have to fix that. I'm making it just the right size to the banner now, just by using the sizing tools. Now I'm going to click on the point editor. And when that little arrow shows up, you can click on a line and that will add an extra point. And then you can move it so that you can actually make a banner shape out of that. Now here I'm just clicking it and I'm going to right click and copy, but of course you can just Control C to copy and then hit Control V to paste. I just did this the graphic way by copying and pasting. And I'm going to move that piece over to the other banner that's not defined nicely. The white ones don't trace well in the tracing tool in Silhouette, so, or the ones with white around the outsides, like the leaf one, the turquoise one with the little leaves would come out all jaggedy on the edges. And this is the way that I make the banners so that they come out nice and straight on all the edges. And I'll show you here in a minute, so I'm just doing a few more. Just copying and pasting and putting them on those banners that aren't defined. And actually, this is probably the way I would do this whole thing. Actually, make a row and then copy the whole row and put it on there. It would make it easier. So I'm going to open some hexagons. And of course, these can be cut with your punch, but if you don't have a punch and you have a silhouette and you'd rather use your silhouette, that's great too. And this is how I would do those. I would just choose the line tool and then you just click on each point. So I click one point, go to the next point and click it. And then for some reason I got out of that tool, so I had to click the tool again. But click the next point, click the next point, click the first point again, click the next point. And that makes your whole hexagon. So you just click on each point twice to make the lines all the way around the hexagon. And then you can copy and paste those or make more, whichever way you like to do it. And I'm going to open another. Can't remember which one I open next. I think I'm going to look through and find some snippets because those have the most different shapes in them. Excuse my dog's barking. Sorry about that. Okay, so this one has multiple pages, so you'll just choose which page you want to cut first. In this case, this is the first page, so I'm not going to change that. I'm just going to change over to image and change it to 300 dpi, and then I'm going to import it. Excuse my barky dogs. My husband's outside mowing the lawn and they're barking at him. So on this one I'm going to show you how I would do the flower. Oh, first I'm going to show you the circle. Of course, I just choose the ellipse tool. And if you hold your shift key down, it will make a perfect circle. Hold your shift key and drag, and it will make a perfect circle for you. So you don't have to try to make the perfect circle out of an oval or whatever. If you hold the shift key down as you drag, it will make a perfect circle. So now I'm going to show you how I would do the flower. I'm going to trace it. So even though it's got all jaggedy edges and it's going to come out very strange, this is how I fix it. So I go to outline first, and then I increase the, I can't even read it from here, but that top line, darn it, I'm sorry about the dogs. Okay, and then I increase the scale so that it will come out brighter around the edges, and then I trace the outer edge. It doesn't have to be perfect, and this is why. Now I'm going to click that, and I'm going to go over to the offset tool. This will make a nice outer edge, as you can see, but I don't like it quite that big. I want it to be down closer to where the flowers are. So I'm going to decrease the offset so that it comes out smaller, so that it goes just around the flowers. And here I've gone a little too far. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger again. The reason I know it's too far is that it has broken all the pieces down into, like, the leaves are separate and everything, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to increase it a little bit until it comes back out and is a solid line around the outside of the flowers again. And as soon as it's that size, I'm going to go ahead and apply it. Now I don't want it to cut out the flowers and cut out around the outer edge. So I'm going to move the outer edge piece that I made with the offset tool, and then I'm going to move the image out of the way, and I'm going to get rid of all of that mess that it would have cut out at the center. And I just delete it. And here there's a little bit on the offset that is not what I want, so I just click the erase tool and I erase those little pieces out of the center so it doesn't make little holes in the center of my flowers. And then I just move it back, and I move the offset or the outline back over the top of the flowers. I'm going to show you how I do that one more time. I'm going to do it with the pineapple. So I click the trace tool and I select the trace area. And I go around the pineapple. It's kind of wedged in there a little bit, so it takes me a second to get it just outlined exactly how I want it. So I increase the threshold first, and then I increase the scale. There, I remembered it's the threshold. From the interface that I'm recording from, I can't read the letters because they're really super tiny. And then increase the scale so that it just goes around the outside. And then I'll trace the outer edge. And I'll click on it to select it. And then I will go back over to the offset. And decrease the offset so it just goes around the edge of the pineapple like I want it. And apply it. And then I'll grab that inner edge that I had originally done with the trace tool and delete it. Since the trace tool comes out all jaggedy around the edges, and I don't like that. And I'll show you one more thing. This is kind of a long part of this tutorial, so if you're not interested, you don't have to look. But this sun is kind of a circle. So I'm going to go ahead and use the circle tool to make a circle around it. But I wouldn't want quite all of that white space around it. So what I'm going to do is use the point tool again and make it a little bit smaller in the areas where it's smaller. That way I'll get rid of some of the white edges. So I'll use the point tool and I'll put an extra spot where I can move it, and I'll just keep doing that all the way around the edges to where I start moving the little bits in to get rid of some of that white space. It takes a little fiddling sometimes, and actually I haven't done it in a few months, to tell you the truth. I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to even play with my paper stuff. So I get much better at this when I'm working on it every day, and I haven't done that, but you just have to fiddle with it. And actually I think it's kind of part of the fun of doing this, is learning how to use your software. So I hope that this tutorial helped you do what you wanted to do. And if you want to keep watching, you can, but I'm going to quit recording my voice. So I hope this helped anyway. Thanks. Bye.